Alright, so, I mean, what do I even say, honestly, to start this off? Just, these celebrities are so out of touch with reality that they say things that are almost like parody at this point. And it drives me bonkers, man. Because, like, I think they feel like maybe they're like you and me, when they're not, man. These Hollywood celebrities, it seems like ever since COVID really hit, they've just been off the rocker, man. Just doing insane, stupid things. Even more so than they already were. Just, I don't know, it's crazy, because, like, just think about the average person, right? You know, just an average middle-class family, right? You know, they're getting by and everything, maybe they got a little bit of savings, they're doing okay, you know, they probably couldn't afford a big major emergency medical expense or anything crazy like that, but, you know, they're kind of doing their thing, maybe they got a nice car, the kids go to school and whatever, and they got lunch money and crazy things like that, you know? Maybe that's like the ideal lifestyle for the average American or something like that, right? But then, you know, these Hollywood celebrities live in like a 40,000 square foot mansion with 4 stories, 18 bathrooms, 32 bedrooms, an arcade, a cinema, a basketball court, tennis courts, a pool inside of a pool that's also inside of a hot tub, which is also in a pool. They've got landscapers, and they've got gardeners, and maids, and chefs. They do basically nothing for themselves, but they think that they're just like you and me, right? You know, who we own our house, maybe, and we mow our own grass. And things like that, right? That's who they, for some reason, think that they're on the same level as, man. Whether celebrities are filming videos of them singing John Lennon songs to try and pretend like we're all in this together, while they hide from the pandemic, once again, in a fortress built for a king. If they're not doing that, then they're Robert De Niro and his lawyer, who are just delusional about income. But before we get into this video any further, I do want to remind you guys that over 50% of you have yet to subscribe, and I'm putting out so many videos that you'll probably enjoy at this point that I think you should probably hit the subscribe button down below. And if you do enjoy, of course, make sure to leave a like, and let me know what you think about all this down below, and with that, let's go ahead and get into it. So, you probably know who Robert De Niro is. I mean, he's one of the most famous actors, probably of all time at this point, you know? Robert De Niro's been in a lot of classic movies. Now, with everything that he's done in his career, you would think that Robert just has money, right? He's probably, you'd think he's got bands, you know what I'm saying? Just no problem, he's gonna retire fine. At least you would think that. Well, apparently that's not the case. Apparently this dude's living so far on the edge that COVID just completely wiped him. So, basically, his estranged wife, Grace Hightower, she asked for an emergency order to raise her monthly credit card limit from only a measly $50,000 to $100,000, you know, something simple, right? Maybe she can't afford to get groceries this month or whatever, and, you know, she needs that extra 50 grand to kind of cover the expenses. Maybe the kid's got to go to the dentist or something like that, right? Yeah, that's pretty fine, you would think, right? Just a few tens of thousands of dollars increased a month. And, well, he appeared in court or whatever, because I guess he's trying to combat this entire thing, which, I mean, $50,000 a month, I'd be combating that too, but Robert De Niro's lawyer said some very interesting things that I honestly think they're kind of funny, because it's so tone deaf almost, to the point where, like, they don't even realize who they are or something, right? I mean, you think of, like, child support disputes or whatever between two parents, right? I don't know, the dad works at Target or something like that, and he's just trying to do his thing. He's trying to get his child support lowered from $300 a month to, you know, $210 a month so he can survive, you know? Poor Robert here, only $50,000, man. Having to have that credit card limit, dude, I don't know how he would survive without that money. And in turn, I'm surprised she can't survive with $50,000 a month. You're getting 50 grand a month credit card limit, and you're telling me that's not enough for you to survive? Where do you live? You know, do you live in Richie Rich's house or something? Like, what's going on here? If you gave me $50,000 a month in a credit card limit, I would be fine. I'd be completely, of course you gotta pay it back, but I mean, they're rich, so you gave me 50 grand a month, I would be okay. I think I'd be able to survive on that. But apparently, Robert De Niro's money has gotten so bad that he's been significantly damaged, because restaurants that he owned stakes in, like Greenwich Hotel and Nobu, had to close down. So he lost some of his investing money or whatever. So I guess his sushi restaurant, Nobu, lost almost $5 million between April and May. And he had to borrow 500 grand because he didn't have the cash, which is crazy, because Robert De Niro, like I said, he's one of the most famous actors of all time. You would think he has just tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. How do you blow it this bad, where you're like borrowing money off of people as Robert De Niro? Bro, if you gave me 10 years of Robert De Niro money, I'd be set for life. My kids would be set for life. My great-grandkids would be set for life. That's just how it is, man. I'm not taking Robert De Niro's income and messing up, you know what I'm saying? But apparently, poor Robert's going broke, man. He's going to be lucky if he only makes $7.5 million this year. And his income might be so bad that he might make a measly $2.5 million next year. Guys, I feel so bad for him. I mean, I'm on the verge of crying, you know what I'm saying? Poor Robert, only gonna make $7.5 million this year. Some people don't make that in a fucking lifetime, but Robert De Niro might only make that this year. I have no idea how he's ever gonna get out of this struggle, man. How he's ever gonna get out of this. He's going broke. And then it might go to $2.5 million next year? How do you deal with this, Robert? I don't know. There's people who make $10,000 a year, okay? $10,000 a year, not even a fifth of his ex-wife's credit card limit a month, but I'm supposed to feel sorry for Robert De Niro because he's only going to make upwards of $7.5 million this year. Like I said, the vast majority of people, they probably won't even earn that in a lifetime, and if they do, it'll be late into their lifetime. But I'm supposed to feel bad because he only might earn that this year. These celebrities are completely out of fucking touch. I don't know what kind of reality check they're due for and what could be done to give them such, but they're completely delusional. To the point of near insanity. That measly $7.5 million, I don't know what he could do with that, right? He might not be able to afford groceries next year. On $2.5 million, how do you feed your family on that, right? How do you pay your house off on $2.5 million? I mean, Jesus, that's a tough life, dude. That's a really tough life. I would definitely not like to live Robert's life, man, only making that much money, having all these investments, and being able to pull $500,000 out of my friends' pockets whenever I need it. That's a tough life. There's people out there starving in the streets who don't have jobs, living in tents on the side of the road, eating scraps that people drop off to him out of pity. But poor Robbie boy here might only make a couple mil this year. Now let me go ahead and get this straight, okay? Robert De Niro, the legendary Hollywood actor, one of America's greatest, one of the biggest celebrities ever, okay, is now at the point where $7.5 million a year might make or break him. That's crazy, dude. I don't know what goes through millionaires' heads where they think they can just live these insane lifestyles forever. Let me go ahead and break this down to you folks. You can make $100 million, and that would be enough to keep generations of your family rich. Like me, you give me $100 million over my lifetime, there's never going to be a problem with my kids, or their kids, and hopefully their kids. It just wouldn't be an issue, man. That would be fine with me. You know what I'm saying? $100 million, that's a pretty good chunk of change, right? For the average person, they could be completely okay with that. If you just live a modest lifestyle, that's not a problem. $7.5 million a year wouldn't be a problem. If you buy a $100,000 house, $7.5 million won't be a problem. If you buy a $25,000 car, $7.5 million's not a problem. If you have 2 kids with that, $7.5 million a year, not a problem. But hey, you know how these millionaires are, they're detached. So they gotta live in just insane houses, $30 million mansions, where the yearly property tax is probably $400,000, and they gotta live with 14 cars in the garage that aren't paid in cash. So they're paying $40,000 a month in car payments and insurance and things like that. They gotta have chefs and butlers and all kinds of stuff, which they pay $30,000 to $50,000 a year probably for each person, because that's how they have to live, man. They can't live a modest lifestyle. Who would want to live one of those when you can live like a king for 4 years and then not have the money to do anything? I mean, if your lifestyle is so crazy and extravagant that $7.5 million in a year isn't enough to keep up with it, then you have a fucking problem. And guess what? Your problem isn't being poor. No one should pity you for not having money. Your problem is that you're an idiot and you don't know how to manage money. In my opinion, managing money might be the easiest thing to do. Okay? You literally just don't spend it all. But I mean, if you're a Hollywood celebrity and you think you're going to make $800 million a year for the rest of your life, yeah, you're probably stupid enough to do something like that, right? See, that's the problem with these celebrities, and this is why millionaires are at it again. They think that people should feel sorry for them in these situations. Oh, I'm only going to make this much. I don't know how I'm going to live. And the people they're trying to garner sympathy from make $48,000 a year. And that's after taxes and everything. And that goes to raising a family. But these people are supposed to get sympathy from me? Yeah, okay. They wish they got some sympathy from me, man. There's no way. They're just all delusional, man. Maybe there's a few of them that understand and they manage their money right and whatever, but that lifestyle can't be kept up with forever. I mean, unless you're like Elon Musk, then yeah, you can live like that however long you want to, but you're not always going to be making this kind of crazy money. Eventually, you're going to want to retire, right? And I'm assuming you're not going to want to downgrade your lifestyle any, so you can't just be out here spending stupid amounts of money and then wondering what happens. Like, cool, yeah, he invested money in restaurants and whatever, but they got hit by the pandemic. What about all the money you had from acting? What about all the money from your other investments? I'm assuming these aren't the only two investments somebody like that would make. You give me Robert De Niro money and I'd have investments in all kinds of different things, man. But I mean, then again, I guess I'm just not a complete idiot, I guess. I guess maybe I know a little bit more about managing my money than maybe Robert does. Because I'm just saying I'm not delusional enough to believe that $8 million a year damn near is poverty. Okay, and that I should feel bad for him because his credit card limit on his estranged wife is getting raised up to $100,000 a month. Oh no, poor pitiful you, man. That's why I think people who like idolize a lot of these celebrities, and I mean I'm guilty of it too, like I idolize Kanye West and whatnot, but I think people who like really idolize these celebrities to the point where like they believe this kind of delusional shit are nuts, man. There's no way that you can be working at Hot Topic, making $10 an hour, 40 hours a week, and you feel bad for these people. There's no way, man. Like, that cannot be real. But, I mean, people are going to feel sorry for him. People are going to be like, oh, he'll only make that much this year? When, in the average household, if they made that in a year, they'd be set for life. I'm not feeling sorry for Robert. I'm not feeling sorry for any of these idiots who get to, they're crying because they're cooped up in a 40,000 square foot house while I'm cooped up in a 2-bedroom. And while people are cooped up in a 1-bedroom apartment. And some people are cooped up on the sidewalk. You should not be feeling pity for these people. They're fucking out of touch. They think that for some reason that we're all on the same level, when in reality we're not. Do not feel sorry for them when these idiots can't live on $8 million a month. That's all I'm saying. Robert De Niro's delusional, his lawyer's delusional, and I know why they're doing it. They're saying that to try and get pity from the court so that it gets lowered or whatever, but people read this and legitimately think that he's gonna go hungry tomorrow. Don't believe these idiots, folks. But with all that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at SubToOptimus, make sure to check out Shop Opti down below. Thank you to my channel members, your support helps my channel tremendously, and until my next video guys, this is Optimus, crying over 8 million, and signing out.